Greetings, we are the DVD Geeks, and we're back for our third episode. I'm Matthew.
I'm Harrison.
And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. Instead of us each picking out a film that we want to share with you, we're going to share our top 5 favorite movies of all time. Harrison will give you his 5, I'll give you my 5.
That's right.
How hard was this?
This was tough, man. I tell you what, I lost sleep. Lost sleep over this one. This is just...
I've stared at my computer screen for like an hour thinking, how do I rank these movies?
I had like a pseudo nervous breakdown prior to filming.
Prior to filming, yeah. Thank goodness for the sweet tea. Right. But some of the criteria that we use, I think, is kind of interesting too. I'll kind of share what I've done. One of the things that I looked at for my top 5 movies was how much enjoyment did I get out of this movie? Ultimately that's the bottom line.
It's the bottom
line. Do you
line,
enjoy it or not? And then being able to rewatch it.
The rewatch factor.
Watching it again. How many times have I watched this? And when we get to my number 1, I've probably watched it 20 times. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's a big thing. Were there any others on yours that you...
I looked out for, soundtrack plays a big role.
Big role.
I like, good soundtrack means a lot to me.
With your musical background.
Just the nostalgia factor. You know what I mean? You just have that, you're taken back in time to when you were a little kid watching the film or, got to have the nostalgia factor.
Nostalgia is very, very important. What we're going to do first is we're going to each share 5 from our list that didn't make the cut. That just weren't quite there. So, in other words, if we were doing a top 10, would you say these would fill out your top 10?
They'd fill it out for sure.
I think so with mine too. I'll get us started. Airplane. Leslie Nielsen, the whole kind of comedic timing.
Yeah,
Shirley, you
absolutely.
Can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. The whole that movie is just fantastic.
It's a
now,
good film.
it's like all others. Don't see Airplane 2. Stay with Airplane. Stay away from Airplane 2. Go ahead.
What about The Shining, Matt? With Stanley Kubrick behind the camera, the wonderful camera angles.
Oh yeah, very spooky, eerie. Jack Nicholson.
Here's Johnny, kind of,
that face in the door.
Took kind of a turn for the worst.
It did, very much so. And then, by the way, that's a great book, too.
It's a great book.
The book is great, too.
Yeah.
Since we're at the library, we have
should probably mention
talk about books a little bit, too. Another one for me would have been The Dark Knight from the Batman series. The new series with Christian Bale. That was the film with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Gosh,
and man, what a tremendous... He kind of reinvented the Joker at that point. It was just a totally different kind of character than Jack Nicholson. I mean, a very different type from that.
Yeah.
So that would have been one of mine.
Absolutely. You see, you did the Jack Nicholson connection. I can do the Christian Bale connection. I was thinking of Christian Bale in the Machinist.
Okay.
Dark film,
very dark.
Very dark. Interesting film, and I think it says a lot about Christian Bale. Man, what an actor to sacrifice that much for him, get emaciated like that in the film. And I thought maybe I should refrain from top 5 on The Machinist. Just if I have number 2, that's my number 2. People are like, what's wrong with you? Kind of,
He is an underrated actor,
big time,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because I picked Batman and you picked that, but I don't know if you've seen The Big Short.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what a tremendous role there. I mean, he does such a great job. Another one of mine, if you watched last week's episode 2, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Wes Anderson. That would definitely be in my top 10, but did not make the top 5.
Yeah.
Now, for me, though I love the movie, I love the camera angles, everything we talked about last week, the soundtrack on that one is very... I love the soundtrack. It's very quirky type music. It's fun music to work to. If I find myself working, I can put it on, and
that was a neat film.
It's quite fun.
Let's see. What about The Deer Hunter? Do you remember The Deer Hunter?
The Deer Hunter.
Robert De Niro.
I do, and it has been a long time since I've seen The Deer Hunter.
That was a wild one, man.
That was a good movie.
That was a really interesting movie. I don't know. It was one of those that I saw it and I really, really enjoyed it. I rewatched it, but I haven't watched it enough times to say that's like my
up in the top,
you know
right?
I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Still worth a watch though.
I think we're down to one more, aren't we?
One more.
One more. Come Blow Your Horn. You probably never heard of this one.
Doesn't ring a bell.
This is a 50s movie with Frank Sinatra. And it's kind of a kind of a romantic comedy type movie. Very minimalistic in setting and so forth. I just love this movie. I love Sinatra, but I love, this is one of, everybody thinks From Here to Eternity and stuff like that when they think of Sinatra. This one just cracks me up. I can watch it anytime. Love that movie. Come Blow Your Horn.
Come Blow Your Horn. Check that one out. What about Enter the Dragon? Mr. Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Master of Kung Fu. The only movie I think that Bruce Lee actually spoke in. Usually it was overdubbed in English.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I love it. The Master of Martial Arts. Great action, great great set design, but plot-wise, kind of losing me a little bit.
Kind of lost
it.
it.
Yeah, kind of train went off the tracks.
Who needs a plot when you can fight like that?
But you can use nunchucks,
Right.
What do you need a plot for?
What do you need a plot for at that point? Exactly. That is absolutely perfect. Now the time we've waited for to get to the top 5. These 5, at least for me, are movies that I could watch anytime.
Yeah, for sure.
Any place. I mean, there would be no problem with me watching these at any time.
Right.
So I'll let you go first with your number 5.
Okay. This is 5 is almost just as tough as number 1. The ones in between, kind of.
Exactly.
But 5 was weird. I went with Jeremiah Johnson.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Robert Redford, man. Yep. This is pre Dances with Wolves, pre Into the Wild. Those kind of.
It's kind of a predecessor for those,
right?
wasn't it?
I think it kind of paved the way for those, escaping civilization into the wilderness, and man, that's just a great movie. Wonderful cinematics, wonderful shots of the mountains, and really solid.
That is a good movie. Yeah. My number 5, Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, think about it. You've got a movie with names like Bandit, Cletus, Big Enos and Little Enos, Frog, Sheriff Buford T. Justice. I mean, just that alone.
What more do you want?
What more should you want? But that has just always been a classic, classic movie for me. It's just one that I can watch. It's eternally on my DVR at home, and
it's the house band.
I can watch it anytime I want to. Smokey and the Bandit, 1977.
That's
that was
a good one. 1977.
1977.
Oh, gosh. Matthew, I'm going to throw you for a loop on this one thing. I'm not a romance. I'm not saying I don't like romance movies. They haven't been on my top 5 favorite. I didn't think they would, but there's one with Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner. 13 going on 30. I'm just going to throw that out there. Just plant that seed.
Plant that seed.
Man, what a fun film. Mm-hmm. What a fun film. What a great soundtrack.
I was just getting ready to say soundtrack.
You got Billy Joel. You've got the Go-Go's. Go-Go's are going to be like, if we were doing top 5 favorite bands, Go-Go's rock.
Oh, yeah.
And then the legend himself, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Thriller.
I mean,
great film.
That is. And that's a male romance kind of
It's a
film.
male romance. It's a bromance.
A bromance. There we go.
Kind of, yeah.
Definitely.
Something like that.
Something like that. Number 4 for me, this is just polar opposites here. The Jerk with Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Oh my God.
Anything with Steve Martin and you've got my attention. I mean, he'll be my all-time.
He's good, man.
The story of Navin R. Johnson, and it's just a comedy from first scene to, and this has like deep family meanings for me too. All the boys in the Carpenter family have to watch The Jerk in order to. Yeah. It's kind of like our bar mitzvah.
It's a coming of age.
It's a coming of age. You're a man once you're able to handle The Jerk.
It's a Carpenter bar mitzvah.
Carpenter bar mitzvah. Yeah. So that movie. Oh boy. Anything Steve Martin. I mean, I'm surprised there's not more Steve Martin in my top 5.
I know.
To be honest,
Steve Martin is the man.
He is definitely.
Great banjo player too. Great banjo player.
Number 3 for you.
Secret Window. Mr. Johnny Depp.
I have not seen this one.
Secret Window. Oh, Stephen King based.
Okay.
Because we mentioned The Shining earlier too. I like the Stephen King.
I was gonna say you've got the Stephen King vibe going on here.
This is pre. I think it's pre Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
So it's kind of before Johnny Depp was like a meme.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like that Johnny Depp. I like the kind of quirky, maybe like a little bit edgy kind of Johnny Depp. Phenomenal film. One of my only. I'm not a big horror movie fan, but when it comes to like psychological thrillers,
you're right
Secret
there.
Window, man.
There you go.
Sign me up.
I have to add that one to my list. Have not seen that one.
Oh yeah.
Number 3 for me, Planet of the Apes, 1968 version,
Good.
original, first one.
Worried.
Yeah, no, we're no Mark Wahlberg here. You know, this is Charlton Heston City all the way. Just a tremendous movie. It really affected me as a child. It was, kind of opened up a fandom for me. I was a big fan of everything Planet of the Apes, and have been recently. And I will say the 2 newer movies are well done.
Right, yeah.
They're very well done. Everything in between that's a little shoddy, but this was, the iconic scene at the end coming on the Statue of Liberty, and just the whole thing that's just so powerful, and spoiler alert too. So yeah, that was my number 3.
How old were you when you saw that one, out of curiosity?
Probably the first time I saw it, 7 or 8 probably.
7 or 8, yeah.
7 or 8,
Isn't
just
that
about at that age. And it was about the time that the
Wow.
TV show, they had a 2-year run of a
That's
TV
cool.
show. So it was about at that time.
That's a good film, man, for
Great
sure.
film.
Number 2 for me, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Coen Brothers, man.
Mm-hmm.
George Clooney. Local semi-local
guy.
Celebrity. Oh man, I just tell you what, I just can't get. Speaking of I can't get enough of that movie. Soundtrack, impeccable.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God, John Hartford, Stanley Brothers. That's just where you want to be.
I wonder if did that win awards, the soundtrack? I wonder. I don't know.
I know that for a fact that they toured and they had
Yeah,
everybody
I remember
was on the
that.
soundtrack. They had the they had like the tour, just helped. It made a big.
Did Jerry Douglas, was he on there?
Jerry Douglas. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't remember. He was with Alison Krauss in Union Station.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Phenomenal movie, semi based on the Odysseys.
Yeah, the Odyssey.
It was, great film. Love it.
And comedic.
Very comedic.
Very
Soggy
comedic.
Bottom Boys. You gotta,
Soggy Bottom Boys.
gotta have them, man.
You would think they would be Smokey and the
You think
Bandit.
they'd be
Part of the crew there. My number 2 is Field of Dreams, with Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta.
Field of Dreams. That's a good
The
one.
baseball flick, but really not a baseball flick. There's so much more to that movie than just. I mean, that's a relationship type movie
Yes.
as well, and that one really had a big impact on me. Funny story too. I took a girl out for a date in college when the first time I ever saw it. We went to see Field of Dreams, and we're down to the end of the movie, and I'm crying like a baby. I'm not going to tell you the scene because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to be that guy who tells you about the Statue of Liberty at the end of Planet of the Apes. But it impacted me from the first time I've seen it, and it's also eternally on my
That's a good
DVR.
film.
It's
for
a
sure.
great movie.
Kevin Costner. Gosh, man.
And he is just as a side note, he is a great baseball player.
Is he real?
He's a great baseball player. Yeah, definitely.
Who would have known?
Who
Man?
would have known?
Gosh. I thought you George Thorogood's at baseball. From the just as a
Exactly.
baseball fact, I guess. I don't know.
Baseball trivia.
We're down to it, man.
Number 1. Here we go. Drum roll.
Robin Williams. This was a toughie for me because I'm a huge Robin Williams fan. I loved Good Will Hunting. I loved What Dreams Will Come.
Yep. What Dreams Will Come.
And my number 1 though, Dead Poet Society.
Excellent.
Man, what a powerful film, especially for young people and in high school and in college. I remember reading A Separate Piece in high school, and this is semi-based on A Separate Piece.
Exactly.
And it was, oh my gosh, Robin Williams is just like this embodiment of the transcendental, English teacher. He's just inspiring.
As I say, if that movie cannot inspire or motivate you,
you've
got problems.
You've got a problem.
You can't be motivated. That's a great. Actually, I had a Robin Williams on my list that didn't make it.
Which
you ever
one
see
was
Jacob the Liar?
No, I haven't.
You should check
Jacob
that one
the
out.
Liar.
Jacob the Liar. I just cheated and gave you an extra movie here. Okay, my number 1 is actually 3 combined into 1.
Knowing Matt, I know where
You know where I'm going with this. It's the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Just fantastic. I mean, I don't know what I can say. I mean, I'm a Tolkien person. I love all things Tolkien, Middle Earth, the whole nine yards. If I were to pick one of the three that stood out for me more than the others, it would probably be Return of the King. And that was the one that did win more of the Academy Awards. I think it won 11 Academy Awards the year. And just the cast. I mean, just such a. I'm a Viggo Mortensen fan, big time.
History of violence. I love Viggo Mortensen.
But I've read the books. I read the book. I used to read the book once a year. Don't do that anymore. One thing too, 17 Academy Awards for that series, and in the movie world, it was nominated for 800 different awards and won 450. So won over half the awards. I know, it's just unbelievable that a movie could actually do that, but it did. But just absolutely amazing.
A solid set of films.
Yes,
for sure.
Okay, my 5. Number 5, Smokey and the Bandit. Number 4, The Jerk. Number 3, Planet of the Apes. Number 2, Field of Dreams. And number 1, The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yep. Number 5 for me, Jeremiah Johnson. Number 4, 13 Going on 30, Ms. Jennifer Garner, comedic genius.
Yep.
Number 3, Secret Window, Mr. Johnny Depp. Number 2, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, featuring Mr. George Clooney, of course. Number 1, Dead Poet Society with the legendary, late great Robin Williams.
Definitely so. When you watch the video, and we do hope that you do watch the video.
Yes.
If you see it on Facebook or any place like that, in the comments, leave us some comments about what your
type for.
What your favorite movies are.
We gotta know.
It'd be interesting to see that. And I think everyone on our top 5 list, mine and Harrison's, we can probably get here at the library. No problem.
We can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
In a heartbeat.
That would be great. That's all for episode 3.
That's right.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Signing out. DVD Geeks.
See ya.